Welcome to Friendeavor, the podcast, the weekly podcast where we explore the highs and lows of friendship with your hosts, Danielle and Kayla.
As we journey through life, our friendships often evolve and change, ebb and flow, and sometimes even come to an end. Danielle and I are lifelong advocates for the power of friendship, and we are here to guide all of us through the many challenges and joys that come with building and maintaining strong, meaningful connections with those around us.
Join us each week as we deep dive into the intricacies of friendship, from navigating conflicts to fostering new relationships and everything in between. With insightful interviews, personal anecdotes, and expert advice, Friendeavor is the perfect podcast for anyone looking to strengthen their bonds with the people they love.
So, whether you are on the go, taking care of chores, or just settling in, get ready to explore the world of friendship on Friendeavor, the podcast.
After almost a year of an unplanned sabbatical, I am back. I really have missed this, and I hope you have too. But you know what? There's a lot of reasons, and maybe I'll get into some of them for why I took this unplanned sabbatical. But I never lost my desire to help people or to help you build and strengthen friendships. So you know what? I'm back. One of the reasons that I took this sabbatical was, as you know, around this time last year, life was getting a little chaotic. I was traveling, and then when I got home, I moved into my first apartment. My nephew was born, and a lot of things happened at the same time. Some other stuff happened on the business side of Friendeavor that was really disappointing, and it kind of, if I'm being honest, knocked the wind out of my sails, so to speak. But you know what? All that's in the past. On the things that matter side, you guys, those of you who have been waiting, some of you have reached out to ask if more episodes are coming. And honestly, I didn't know. I didn't know if I was ever going to get back into it. I didn't know if I wanted to get back into it. Like I said, I never lost my desire to help people and help develop people and strengthen friendships. But you never know where life will take you. And I have decided that I'm not done. So I'm back. Also, in this last year, I have learned a ton more, just as life teaches you so many lessons, ups and downs, crazy things, highs and lows. There's so many things that I can still bring to you guys. Again, the mission still stands. If I even help one person brighten your day, make you a better friend, make you a stronger individual, make you a better Christian, then I will have felt like I've done my job. You'll notice that Kayla is still the voice, one of the voices in the intro. She is absolutely thriving as a mother. She is killing it. I'm so blessed to be her sister-in-law and to be the aunt to her baby and to be her neighbor. She lives very close. So hopefully, as time and life permits, we can have her pop by from time to time to chime in on her with her wisdom and offer support to whatever I have on the docket for that episode. Another thing regarding the intro, I was going to make a whole new intro. I was going to be like, oh yeah, relaunch. Okay, can't find the same intro sound that I used before. Just disappeared off the face of the planet, apparently. And so all that, I was like, you know what? Why go for this big new rebrand when everything has worked before? But yeah, hopefully we'll get her to chime in from time to time. It also says weekly. I cannot promise weekly. Life has become very chaotic. I am going back to work here in a few weeks, and I say chaotic, that's a little bit dramatic. It's not. It's just there's more things demanding my attention right now. So I don't know that it'll be weekly, but I do hope to definitely pick this back up where we left off. Because like I said, I have a lot to share. Ironically, the thing that I want to talk to you about today is going to... you're going to seem like it could be very much disproven given the fact that this past year I've been kind of MIA from Friendeavor. But the lesson and the point I want to get across still very much stands. So just bear with me as I work through the irony of what I want to talk about this week. To put the topic into one word, I would call it consistency. So again, like I said, a little bit ironic, but if I was to pose a thesis, if you will, the highest compliment someone could ever give me isn't that I'm funny or that I'm successful or that I'm talented or that I'm interesting. It's that I am consistent, that they know exactly who I am. I'm the same whether I'm at my home or at my church or we're hanging out, that I'm there for them and that I can be counted on. consistency in character. And I think that's the thing that shows so much more about who someone is rather than what they are capable of. Because, like, you know, those friendships that you haven't talked to in 8 months or a year or 2 years or even 5 years, but like within 5 minutes of being back in one of those presents or talking on the phone, and it's like nothing's changed. You can pick up exactly where you left off. To me, that is one of the most beautiful feelings in the world. There are people that I grew up with when I lived in Michigan that I know that if they showed up on my doorstep right now, it would not be awkward. It would be like, oh my gosh, come in, let's catch up. And we would be able to laugh the same. It would not be awkward because there's just some friendships that, yes, we're different people and we've grown differently and we might have even slightly different worldviews, but our characters are pretty much still the same and we're able to reconnect. And that doesn't just happen from childhood. It could also happen from adulthood friends that you might see them at church every single week, but you haven't had a meaningful conversation with them in 5 months. But then you have them over for dinner, or you go out to dinner, or you go out for coffee, and you're able to connect the same level as you did 5 months ago because you are consistent and you are able to connect with them on the same level as you did maybe when you were in a different life season where you saw each other every day and then you don't see each other for a year, but you're still able to connect the same way. Which made me wonder, what makes those friendships survive? It obviously isn't the constant communication because, again, with this premise, you don't talk constantly. You don't see each other every weekend. I think that it's the consistency of character. Consistency, being a constant individual, someone who is the same and is not posing depending on what environment they're in, that is what transforms the hope of a friendship into the certainty of a friendship. I don't want to try to be a philosopher and make it more than it is. But again, a lot of this stuff with Friendeavor is me just working through what I've learned and kind of posing it in a way that you might agree with or you might disagree with. And I'd love to hear from you if you disagree or if you agree, to have that communication standpoint, because no man is an island. And I don't want to just float out ideas that are like acting as if they're gospel. But these lessons I've learned, like, hey, this is what I think. What do you guys think too? And knowing whether or not you've experienced them the same way. Have you experienced someone who's inconsistent? What has that meant for your friendship? So if you want to reach out, I'd love to hear from you. Friendeavorpodcast@gmail.com. Same one as always. I think before people mature in their emotional understanding or well-being, maybe if you want to put like an age on it just for, argument's sake or whatever, let's call it teenage years just for our example here. I think that we often confuse consistency with frequency. You don't have to text every day. You don't have to hang out every week. You don't have to know every single detail of someone's life in order to be friends with them. Consistency is, like I already said, your heart, your character, loyalty to that person, even when they're not around. Are you able to defend them? Not in a combative way, but, explain on their behalf. If they find themselves in a situation where they need defense, again, you guys know, well, you may remember how I feel about loyalty, that it can be weaponized and misused. But we're not going to go into that today. We're just going to talk about consistency. But like, it's about a constant character. So our favorite scripture around here, Proverbs 17:17, a friend loveth at all times. There's a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. It doesn't say a friend talketh at all times, or a friend hangeth out at all times, or a friend is available at all times, but a friend loveth at all times. And love remains even when conversations don't or life gets in the way. And we've had countless episodes about making sure that you're there for your friends and available. So I hope I don't have to qualify what I mean by that. But your presence in someone's life is not measured by proximity. And thank God, because I have friends all across the country that my presence is not felt every day in their lives, or their presence is not felt every day in my life, but I'm still able to connect with them when life allows, when opportunity allows. And thankfully, proximity is not the thing that determines whether or not we are friends. You also have the element of trust. Trust is built through predictable character. my goal is that people feel comfortable around me and are relaxed around me because they know that I can be trusted. I'm not going to take what they tell me in confidence. I'm not going to use what I've learned about them against them or anything like that, because they know what version of me they're getting. And it's the same. My dad is a perfect example of this. Well, both my parents, but I'll just use my dad for this example because he is a minister and very visible on the platform at our church. That guy that you see up there, the worshiper, the jolly fella, the guy who's smiling, the guy who shakes everyone's hand. If you showed up at my parents' house on any given day, you're going to see that same guy. He's not secretly acting some other way behind closed doors. He is the same. And I think, well, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for parents like this because that's helped me become who I am. But they can trust my dad. They can trust me, hopefully, because they know what version of us they're getting every single time they see us. Yes, you might be having a bad day or whatever. That's not really going to affect your character as a person, those life circumstances. So you're not loving and snuggly and, oh, let's go have dinner one week and cold and distant and mean and rude the next. You're not just supportive when it's convenient for you, when you can ride the coattail to the next high in life, so to speak. James 1:8 says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Instability, inconsistency affects your relationships. People don't know which version of you they're going to meet. They're going to stop wanting to meet you entirely. Look at your relationship with God. He is always there for you, no matter what life throws at you. Hebrews 13, I want to say. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is trustworthy. He is consistent. We are wanting, like, our goal in life is to become more like Christ, right? To be consistent in all of our ways. And people trust people with predictable characters. I would go so far as to say that even if you have a not great character, a negative character, you are more likely to be worthy of someone's trust because they know what version of you they're going to get day in and day out too. If you're cold and distant all the time, they know you're going to be cold and distant all the time. It's those flip-flop, lukewarm, happy, sad, like you, don't like you, talk to you for 2 hours on Sunday one week, don't talk to you at all the next week. That's the thing that makes people separate from you and break what could be a lifelong friendship or a very deep friendship because they can't trust you. Not necessarily with what you say, but what you do, how you act toward them. That's a tough spot to be in for anyone. If you wanted to put a Christian term on this, you could call it faithfulness. I hesitate to use that because I think faithfulness is more powerful. Faithfulness to God, faithfulness to church, faithfulness to your spouse. Consistency, I think, is a more accurate term when it comes to friendship. But just for our conversation at this point of what we're talking about, faithfulness, consistency is more attractive, if you will, than intensity. I think that we live in a culture that celebrates these big gestures, right? You see people, and I'm not hating, don't get me wrong, but you see people doing these elaborate proposals for someone to become their girlfriend, to be their, to date them. That is a huge cultural thing. That's a big gesture, like top someone else, be bigger and grander than someone else. I think that we should honor consistency and faithfulness more than the big gesture. Again, I'm not hating. If you want to go out and rent a helicopter and do skywriting with a jet or whatever for will you be my girlfriend, go do it. But as long as you're matching that with being consistent and faithful and honoring the person that you're choosing to befriend or get into a relationship with. Friendship isn't won through huge moments. Friendship isn't earned through just the highs. It's built on the small things as well, like remembering someone's birthday, showing up, answering the phone. Like, if you're getting repeated invitations to dinner and you keep turning them down, again, life gets in the way. I get that. I'm just throwing in these qualifiers because I know. But just checking in, keeping promises, being consistent. That is what friendship is built on. He that is faithful in like the least, right? Luke 16. Let me look it up. Hold on. Luke 16:10. He that is faithful, that which is least, is faithful also in much. To whom much is given, much is required. You want a long-lasting, wonderful, beautiful friendship, you got to stick with it. You got to be consistent. Small, consistent moments create the trust. Life is going to give you the big moments, the big milestones, all the fun stuff that comes with friendship and all that kind of stuff. But consistency isn't being perfect. You will forget. You will get busy. Life is going to change. But consistency is always coming back and always being the same person, in my opinion. Consistency is also about being the safe place, the safe friend, who feels emotionally safe because of your influence. Is your home, is your space is a peaceful place? And if you don't have your own home, when you go to coffee, are you a peaceful place? Are you a safe space? Ecclesiastes talks about lifting one another up. Consistency means people know that you'll help them back up after a tough time. One of my favorite quotes that I actually don't know who I can attribute it to, so I apologize for that, but the strongest friendships aren't the loudest, they're the safest. Those are the ones that are not maybe making a splash on social media every single day or every single weekend. But they're also not the ones that are, remember you guys, this is an old pulling it back, my revolving door, the people who suck someone into the revolution of their door and then fling them out after 6 or 8 months because of a falling out or they got bored or whatever have you. And then you also have the other element of my example of the hand and the yo-yo. The yo-yo goes out, does their crazy thing, but always snaps back to the hand because they know it's their safe space. As long as the hand is not allowing themselves to be used and abused and they're still protecting their own sanctity, I think that it's fine to be the safe space for the yo-yo. Go back on some of the other episodes if you want to hear a deep dive into that. In summation, character is what people experience repeatedly for you. Oh, I always have fun with her. I know that if I called her today, she'd be there for me. I know if I needed prayer, she would pray for me. I know that if my life fell apart, he would step up and be my friend. They're always there. They're always there for me. They're always the same. I don't have to worry about them treating me one way at a conference and treating me a different way at home. Consistency is not a habit. It really is a reflection of your identity. And as we strive to be Christ-like and as we strive to do the things that God has and the way that he has told us to live our lives outlined in his word, our friendships will become more stable because we are trying to be consistent the way that God is consistent. Will we ever get to that level? Absolutely not. He is omnipotent, omniscient, all-powerful. He is God, right? But we strive to be Christ-like. So the more we try to be better people, better Christians, better friends, we are anchored in the unchanging nature that is our Savior. So does that mean that you have to change who you are? I mean, I think if you're not consistent, you kind of need to pick a path. But yeah, whatever that means for you. And if you already feel like you're a safe space and you are a peaceful place for your friendships, that's great. And if you have tips on how to do that, please email us if you're willing to share. I'd love to talk about them on Friendeavor the podcast. For those of you who have come back with me, thank you. It has been an interesting time navigating back to doing this again. Like I said, I never wanted to stop, but there were just a lot of things that kind of got me to the place that I needed to take a break. But I'm back. I will be recording again soon as I feel like I've got something worth sharing. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming on this journey, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. God bless, and I'll see you next time on Friendeavor. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Friendeavor the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and if you enjoyed today's content, leave a review and share with a friend. You can find the show notes on our website, www.friendeavor.net, and in the description of this episode.
Friendship is a journey. It's an endeavor. We'll see you next time on Friendeavor.